Hey guys, it's Jack here from Precise Weather back with another weather forecast. In today's forecast, I'm going to be covering the severe threat that will be ongoing for the next couple of days. Before I do get into the forecast, there's a few things I do again want to announce. First of which I feel like I've mentioned hundreds of times on my channel, is why I haven't been posting as frequently on my account, and that reason now, this 100th reason, is because my computer's been in my basement because my room getting redone, and the Wi-Fi down there sucks, so I just kind of stopped bothering to post down there and just wanted to wait for my room to get done, which it now is. It's still not really set up, but I should try to get back on schedule, and school's also been a mess recently just because of all of, like COVID stuff and being full remote. But I'll try to post as much as I can, but any forecast matters, so that's why I'm posting this one. Also, I wanted to show you all my Twitter account. I've mentioned it a few times, but I can't seem to put the link in my description. So this is a username. It's really long, so if you want to just pause it to look it up and drop a follow if you would like to, just to see what weather is like around me. We actually had some severe storms. They weren't severe for me, but just east and southeast of me they were. And I had some posts on them. And then for wintry weather as well, hopefully that's over. But as we do get into the severe storm season, I will definitely have more on that. But I do want to get into the forecast now. So this is for the day one outlook for the rest of today, April 6th. And there really isn't any high risks in effect. The highest is a slight risk, and this goes for much of eastern Nebraska and Kansas, where we're going to have the highest chance of seeing severe weather. This is a stage 2 out of 5 on the scale, so it's really not too much, but the threat is still out there, and we have seen multiple reports, mainly of hail throughout the day today, and we're going to continue to see them into the overnight hours. So again, that stretches across eastern Nebraska, Kansas, and western Iowa could get in on some severe weather. It won't be as prominent, but still will be out there. And that marginal risk stretching all the way up into the Great Lakes. We have seen some storms. I don't believe any have had any reports out, but there was some severe thunderstorm warnings in that area. So basically, we're going to be looking at the threat of hail for the next couple of hours. Once we get closer to the overnight hours into kind of like the midnight time period, we're going to see those threats start changing over to damaging winds other than hail. Basically, we're going to see some bowing segments pushing in with this shortwave, and with that being said, there will be the threat for some straight line winds. So wind damage will be possible. I do want to bring you to the day 2 outlook because we are again going to be in a slight risk. This does have some time to upgrade as we do get into tomorrow, so I don't want to say I wouldn't be surprised if an enhanced risk gets out there, but there is a possibility it would, and that's going to just up the chance just a little bit of it being a more significant outbreak, but right now still in a slight risk, and this goes for much of the mid-Mississippi Valley, anywhere from Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, western Tennessee, and southern Missouri. Basically, the shortwave pushing east and southeastward, bringing that threat with it. That marginal risk stretching all the way up into Iowa and even into eastern Kansas and Nebraska. You won't be seeing 2 days of severe storms. This is just kind of showing into the early morning hours. As this does push through, those areas could see some. And as the sun does go down, that threat will diminish a little bit. So now into the actual local storm reports we've seen. This was updated a little bit ago, so I'm not too sure if it's changed or not, but all of the reports that were posted were hail reports, none of which have been significant, but 8 hail reports, all of which are in the Kansas and Nebraska area where we are in that slight risk. So we're going to continue to see these probably get put out into the next couple of hours as this does push eastward. There are multiple severe warned storms right now, and we will continue to see more reports, some of which possibly being by damaging winds and straight line winds. Here are the current severe thunderstorm warnings. There's actually quite a few across central Nebraska. There's about 2 right now, right in the dead center, and then right through the center of Kansas right now, there's quite a bit of them, and even down here into southeastern Colorado. So there's still the threat that severe thunderstorm warnings will be posted into the overnight hours. Areas southeastward, Wichita, Emporia, Topeka, Lincoln, Omaha, all have a chance of being put into a severe thunderstorm warning. That watch is right where all those thunderstorm warnings are right now. Again, as the heating of the day does go away, some of the storms will start to weaken just a little bit. That is why that severe thunderstorm watch is just going to be for the next couple of hours, as we have the last few hours of daylight for the central U.S. So I want to bring you to what we're going to see for the overnight hours. This is going to be for today's slight risk. I also have something else to show you all for tomorrow's slight risk. But here we go as that short waves does push eastward. I want to show you right here. You can kind of see pretty well that kind of bow or that backward C shape with some of these. This is with the NAM model, so this is a very short range model. And that is where we're going to see that switch over to the hail threat to damaging winds. And I also want to put out there that there could be a brief spin up that isn't the highest of our threats, but I wouldn't be surprised if maybe 1 or 2 tornadoes do be confirmed as of today and tomorrow's slight risks, but it really isn't going to be too high of a chance of seeing them. Mainly hail, damaging winds, and maybe even some localized flooding, but these storms should be in and out pretty quickly. We're going to continue to see this into much of the overnight hours as it pushes eastward. We're going to just kind of see a light to moderate rain. Some of these could be, with a special weather statement or a significant weather advisory as we do go into far eastern Kansas and getting into Missouri, where we will eventually transition to a marginal risk of severe storms as the daylight heating does occur, which right now it does look like there could be some cloud cover across the Mississippi Valley that'll limit any destabilization in the atmosphere, and that'll limit some severe storms for a few locations, but it's still looking prominent and likely that we'll be seeing a severe storms tomorrow. As you kind of tell, I haven't forecasted in quite some time, so getting all these words a little gibberish, but as we go into tomorrow, there's going to be those storms that are going to form across eastern Missouri and eventually into eastern Arkansas, Mississippi, and Louisiana. That's where that threat is. I know I can't really pick it up too well on this radar, but we're going to continue to see those storms firing up as we do get into tomorrow afternoon. There wasn't a good one to show, but I guess you guys could kind of see pretty well with that line forming and pushing eastward. As this does push out of the area, much of the precipitation will clear out, other than maybe a few scattered showers or thunderstorms. Let me see. I think I actually did have one. Yes, I think I did have this one. Here we go. So you should be able to see it a lot better with this one. So as we do get into that afternoon, we're going to see that line form. I want to go back. I'm not 100% sure where that slight risk was. Okay, so there we go. Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi is where we're going to have the highest risk of severe storms. And there you go. This is kind of going to be the bullseye. Oh, it does say I can make a rectangle. There we go. That's actually awesome. So let me show you guys. That box is going to kind of be where we're going to see the highest risk of severe storms as that line does push through. The biggest risk, once again, will mainly actually be damaging winds. So forget about the hail. There will be quite a bit of hail reports, but I feel like the most prominent risk will be most likely damaging winds, straight line wind damage. But again, a brief spin up and localized hail will be reported most likely tomorrow. Maybe not tornadoes, but that's going to be a pretty low risk. There's still a chance of maybe one brief one spinning up throughout the rest of the overnight hours and into tomorrow, but I wouldn't be surprised if none occur at all. But damaging wind, hail will be our highest risks. I do want to show you guys precipitation amounts before I do close out of this. Okay, there goes the box. Because I don't believe it'll be anything too significant. Let me go to... Okay, here we go. Let's see this. If you can't tell, my screen recorder did an update, so I'm still a little iffy on how to really use all of this. That's why I was surprised seeing the rectangle, but it is actually pretty cool. Across eastern Louisiana and southern Mississippi, you are in a 0 out of 5 risk of severe storms. Basically, here, let me go here just to show you guys for today. A few storms were occurring today, so the precipitation totals most likely will consider today's and tomorrow's. Let me go here. So here we go. That's just showing that some scattered showers and thunderstorms, none of which I believe were ever severe today, but were occurring today. and some precipitation, was falling. But here we go. So the highest risk of if we were to see any flooding will be those areas across Mississippi and across southeastern Louisiana, where we saw that rainfall today. And we're going to add on to that again tomorrow with widespread, probably 1/2 to 1 inch. Some areas locally seeing over 2 inches of rain. That also goes up here. Actually, I'll just go back and show you guys as this pushes out of the plains. And here we go. I think it'll have to reload. So here are the rainfall totals for this region. Once again, nothing too major, but some isolated spots could be seeing anywhere over 2 inches of rain, most of which we'll be seeing anywhere from 1/2 inch to 1 inch. This region that will be seeing some light to moderate rainfall after the storms push through could see some additional accumulation, but across eastern Kansas, Nebraska, and into Missouri is looking like the highest threat of seeing more widespread totals over 1 inch of rain. Some spots picking up close to 2 inches definitely could cause some rising in streams and creeks, as well as some ponding on roadways and some localized minor flooding. So I hope all of you guys have a great rest of your day. Make sure to stay safe. I'll try to have another forecast out tomorrow. I have a lot of school to get done, so if I have any extra free time, I'll make sure to do that for you guys. But anyway, I hope all of you guys have a great night, and I will see you in the next forecast.